All right, you guys, welcome back. This is part 3 of me getting enrolled into the LPN program, and this is going to be my last video for this portion of me getting into school. So in the first video, in the first part, I was telling you guys that I didn't want this program to be anything like the community and technical colleges. Because of this process, because of what I went through with WIOA, I don't want to be affiliated with them. I don't use people. I don't like taking advantage of people. And I work so I can pay for the things that I need. I'm not going to tolerate nonsense or take in negativity just to get something, especially when God is giving me so much. God is giving me everything that I need to do what it is that I need to do. So just going through this experience, me personally, just because I don't know nobody else that could take over my case, I don't know this lady's manager, I don't know who I would email to complain about her other than the Department of Labor and Workforce, which I'm going to do once I get into school and everything is smoothed out. I am going to not write a complaint, but I am going to make my experience known to them, because had I been weak or had I been so defeated and beat down by life, I would have given up the way that lady treated me. Not just how she spoke to me, but the fact that I texted her, she asked who this was, I told her my name, she didn't even reply back. She replied back to none of my emails. And then when I explained to the ladies at school, when it came to this financial aid process, because me and my husband keep our finances separate. When I applied for financial aid, I applied head of household, and I put that I had not filed taxes yet, because I had not filed my 2023 taxes yet. I was still going through issues with the government for giving me my refund for a previous year return. So until we got that situated, I wasn't finna upload you with some more to be backdated on. And plus, because of the money that I make as a certified pharmacy technician, I owe money. So like it's not, I'm not pressed to file no taxes. I don't get a return back. So the lady at the schoolhouse, the secretary, again, a white woman, was making me feel some type of way because I filed, my husband and I income is not, we are not one. Okay, me and my husband are not one, and that should say enough. We are not one. We are not one. And if it wasn't for this wedding ring, and it wasn't for what I think a wife should be, me and my husband would be roommates, or we would be cordial people to each other. So as far as our personal lives, they are still individual and separate. So when she saw that I had on a wedding ring, but that I filed head of household, that I put that I was head of household and I didn't file taxes, she gonna tell me that because of some law that went into place before 4th of July, that financial aid is doing all this research stuff. And so they want verification. And so I told her I didn't file my taxes, so I can't give you nothing from taxes, from that. She was like, well, this paper is saying something about your spouse income. Did you have income? And if y'all did, you need to upload your check stubs. I was like, well, my husband didn't have an income, so here go my check stubs. She was like, yeah, I don't know if it's going to take it, because even when students come, high school students, they have to give their parents income because they live in the house. I was like, but I travel majority of the year. So head of household is always going to be one for me. Like, I pay a person I have an accountant that do my taxes. I don't do my own taxes. A family member don't do my taxes anymore. I've had an accountant for the last couple of years because I've had a business. She files my taxes. This is what I do. As you can see, I done used 300. I done used I think like 311% of the total amount of financial aid you can get. And I've been married for 12 years, and I ain't never had to give my husband Social Security, income, no kind of information on nothing until I got with WIOA. WIOA wanted my husband's income, W-2 stubs, and mine. And because I was working the job remotely, and because of the amount of money I made, she told me that I was denied getting into the program, but that she spoke up for me, and that's what got me approved. So that's what made me think that WIOA was the be all end all of me getting into the program, because of her making that comment. When actuality, WIOA program was just me getting free money, me being approved to get a $70 gas voucher every week for going to class every single day. And they pay for your books, they pay for that list of uniforms, and they pay for your semester. They pay for your course fees and all of that other stuff. But if financial aid paying for my course fees, I could have paid for my books. I could have paid for my scrubs, because after going to registration, I found out the first half of the semester we wear regular clothes. We don't start doing clinicals till the second half of the semester. So I would not go through Department of Workforce again. But if you have financial struggles, if you have kids, if financially you're already struggling in life and you want to go to school for the LPN program, I definitely suggest that you do go through WIOA if you want to do your local accelerated nursing program, because the fees that you have to, like, for me personally, I had to invest in this process because I'm investing in the woman that I'm becoming. And my life is going to be so much grander on the other side of graduation, that everything that I went through now was just the cost of what's on the other end. That's just how I feel because of my financial circumstances. I didn't have it like that. And like I told you, me and my husband are two separate people, even though we're married. So my husband is not stressing. He's not hustling. He's not busting his butt trying to help me get through nursing school, because he knows that as his wife, it'll benefit him too. Because 9 times out of 10, it'll probably only benefit him because people looking at him like, that's your old lady. That's your old lady. Because I don't play like that. Like, watching my mama grow up, yeah, I don't play like that with men. Period. So, yeah, he didn't invest in it. It ain't investing in him. Just like that. So, for me personally, I would rather struggle hard on my own so that when I do it, I know that all praise, worship, everything goes to God. I'd rather not have people involved. Yes, it will make it easier on me, but I'm so used to struggling and getting things the hard way that I just prefer that way. God is giving me a softer life, but I want him to give it to me. I don't want man to give it to me. So on that note, we're good. But I wouldn't go through WIOA again. Once I'm done with WIOA for this semester, I'm not going through WIOA again. It's just dealing with that woman. If I cannot get another one, if I can't get another person, I'm not even dealing with her. And I stand on that because I want to show y'all my books, and we're almost done. I got my books for the first semester. And I also, when I went to orientation, I also got my student handbook with the syllabus and clinical stuff in the back of it. Like, I went through this whole thing at work today. I've printed out pages. I've taken notes. I've highlighted stuff that I need to ask questions about. And again, who I used to be, like new wine for new wineskins. I read through my syllabus. I printed out papers. And I brought a notebook from 5 and Below just for me to put notes in about school, like if we got any announcements or anything. Just this is just notes about what's going on at school, and these are copies out of the student handbook that I made that I'm gonna write in here. And I'm so thankful for who God truly has ordained me to be, because as I was telling y'all, when I went to orientation, when I went to registration, she was giving me, well, before registration, when I had to take my FAFSA paperwork up there, she told me about this bill or something that FAFSA, that was being implemented, and it was going to change FAFSA. And when she came back to work after 4th of July, all these people had stuff that was required. And so I needed to bring in my driver's license, and I needed to bring in my W-2s, or I needed to bring in my 2023 taxes. So that's what I was letting her know. I didn't file taxes. She was asking me questions about my husband income, because on the paper it said something about spouse. So I was unclear about what was happening, and I was scared because, like I said, I've tried going to the nursing program RN through a community and a technical college. And I can't forget about that. I do want to tell y'all about that. But I've never, ever had this issue. Just last year, I was, because I was in North Carolina with my mom, taking care of my mom, I was going to go to Wake Community College in North Carolina. And the only reason why I did not do their LPN program is because I was an out-of-state student. One class was costing me $6,000. One class. So that's the only reason why I didn't go to school. And they didn't ask me anything about anything. I didn't have to do no verification, nothing. Financial aid was submitted. They told me how much I had. I was trying to select my classes when I realized how much everything was going to cost me, and I just stopped. I didn't do anything else. I didn't withdraw. I didn't call the school and tell them I'm not enrolling. I just did not pick no classes. I just stopped because it just was not worth it. I was going to wait on this program. So when I'm in her office and she talking to me like I'm stupid, like I'm a nigga, like I'm not educated, like I'm a criminal, or like I'm doing something fraudulent, I told her, I said, I'm not worried about checking this box that says I consent that this information is true. I don't care about signing my name on this paper, because this is the truth. These W-2 forms are from IRS. So we uploaded everything in the system, and that was it. She was like, okay, if anything, hopefully it'll come back today, maybe come back tomorrow, I'll let you know. That was on the 14th. That was on the 15th when I did that. Registration was on the 17th. Called them on the 16th. Nothing had happened. But they had talked to WIOA, because at registration, you had to come with $10 for your parking decal. You had to have proof of your car registration, proof of car insurance, and your driver's license for them to make a copy of it. And they'll give you a parking decal and your student handbook. Well, you also had to have proof of payment for the program. So because my stuff wasn't uploaded yet, I wasn't even sure if I should even go to registration. But again, I made a promise to God that I was going to see it through no matter what. So I got dressed up, fly as I don't know what, girl, and I showed up to orientation. I'm going to put my TikTok post in my shorts. Went there, girl, sat in that office. She had a nerve to tell the nurse that I was accepted into the program. I was admitted into the program, but that the verification process, I had to upload some documents that she just don't trust are going to go through. When that host said that in front of, first of all, she's a white woman. The financial aid woman is a white woman. And my professor is a white woman. And I'm the only black woman in the office. When she said that, I wanted to verbally spit in her face and say fuck the course. So after saying that, I had to recollect myself. Like I just had to exhale. And I think because I exhaled, she was like, I want to be honest with you and let you know that you're not the only one. And that she didn't think that it was going to come back favorable. I said, okay, I'm not worried about it. God will take care of it, because I've never had this issue before. So, and I called and What she didn't know was the day before at work on the 16th, I called financial aid because I've never had financial aid do a verification before, and I did not do my 2023 taxes, nor did I do my 2024. And so I thought that that was going to be an issue. Financial aid told me that everything on their end was done, that I had financial aid, everything on my end was done, that I was approved for financial aid, and that the verification process was on the school's behalf. And that the worst case scenario is that because of the documentation I uploaded, the amount that I was approved for my Pell Grant might come back lesser, or it could be higher. That's it. So when she told me that, I got even more pissed that either everybody didn't know what they were doing, or everybody's so used to dealing with poverty level people that they just bullshit people around, which is not acceptable. So I read my handy dandy handbook, and I'm glad I did, because the lady tried to tell me that if financial aid didn't come back by the 25th, WIA was not going to pay for it because financial aid wasn't going to approve me, and that I would have to have $2,040 paid by the 25th to go to class. Well, according to the handbook, the school always does a verification. It takes at least 2 weeks, and if while in school financial aid comes back and say they're not paying for anything, you will be put on a payment plan. The fees have to be paid by the end of the semester. If they're not paid by the end of the semester, you cannot continue to the next semester until they are paid. So I'm gonna wait till I'm off Monday and Tuesday. When God gives me the okay, I'm gonna call the school, and I am going to let them know what the book says and ask them, what does the payment plan look like? Is there an installment that has to be paid, a deposit? Like, what? How does that work? Because I asked her that when I went to registration, because they called us into the office one by one, because so let me explain how it goes. There's 4 semesters. There's phase 1 and there's phase 2. Phase 1 has 2 semesters, technically 4 semesters, because fall semester is split up into 2 semesters, fall and winter. And then there's the spring semester, which is 2 semesters. And then the last 2 semesters are split in half. So for phase 1, semester 1, that's July 30th up until I think October the 1st. And I'll be taking those 2 classes. And then the second half of the semester, I'll be taking fundamentals 2, nurse math, nutrition and diet, I think. I didn't get that far ahead because I just wanted to focus on this semester, and I'm going to start studying. So yeah, that is how my enrollment process went. She didn't want me to pay for my stuff because she's just so certain that my paperwork not going to go through. But I told her, I said, no, I know that's going to go through just fine, and I don't want to be crunch for time any more than what I am because of everybody's miscommunication or false information. So I went ahead and I paid my $10, and I'm number 4, which spiritually, that number just aligns with where I'm in life right now, the stability portion of it. So I'm super, super excited. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching all 3 parts. If you guys have any questions or you want any kind of information, if you need help or anything trying to find the resources local to you, I'll be glad to help. Just put a comment down below. My email is in the description box, so you guys email me or whatever, and I'll be glad to help. Thank y'all so much again for my subscribers, and thanks for tuning in to my enrollment to LPN school. And